Hello, everybody. My name is Martha Alter Hines, and in this video, I'm mainly going to be channeling about Sirius, the star. Um, and so I'm recording this video on June 14th, 2024, and we're heading toward a new moon in July that is going to be exactly conjunct Sirius. So for anyone listening to this recording, it's certainly especially potent and relevant to the time we happen to be in, but I'm going to be making this video in a way that's really relevant for any time. Anytime you're feeling a calling to tap into this star, actually the binary star, Sirius, or that star system, in your own way. So I'm going to be talking in the beginning of the video a little bit about Sirius and the associations that I know of that are out there regarding Sirius, or some of them at least, because there's kind of infinite associations with anything. But then mostly what I'm going to be doing is holding space and channeling for us to come into our own relationship with this being. And so I would love for you to comment and share anything that comes alive for you, because if you're familiar with my work, a lot of what I'm feeling called to be doing in my relationship with astrology is a co-remembering. And so this video is going to be, in a sense, like a relevant anytime, but also a precursor to when I do make a video specific to the new moon that we're going to be having in Cancer, conjunct Sirius. I will make a video specific for that new moon, but it's going to be informed by what comes through in the channeling in this video, and also what you all share with me. So please share. I would really, really love that. And I'll also say a little more about some upcoming things at the end of this video, assuming I'm not in too much in La La Land to do that. But just really briefly, for any of you listening to this soon after I'm recording it, a week from today, June 21st, on at the full moon coming up on June 21st, I'm actually going to be holding a free solstice gathering. It's called a gathering of the Council of Infinity. And I've said more about it in other videos, but I'm putting the link here for you to sign up for that. Please join me live or through the recording if that calls to you. I would love to have you there. Another thing coming up in July 17th, I'm going to be hosting Melanie Reinhardt, who's going to be doing a workshop called Introducing the Centaurs. And she's going to be talking about all four of the main centaurs. So it's a pretty unusual workshop that she's holding. And again, it's free for everybody in my astrology course, my Infinite Soul Wisdom Astrology 101 course. But she wanted to make it open for other people to join as well. So I'm going to put that link here. And I'll say more about this coming up when the plans are a little more final, but just to put the information out there. Also, Chris Skidmore and I are going to be offering an in-person 1.5-day healing retreat in California, in Santa Barbara, California. So if you happen to be in California, or you happen to want to come to California, that's going to be in August of 2020, this year, 2024. And I'll say more about it in probably the next video I make more details about it. But just to give you a heads up, if that is something interesting to you, please let me know, and I can share more information with you. So yeah, it's going to probably be on the afternoon of Friday, August 9th, and then the day of August 10th, Saturday. So we're going to be finalizing the plans in the next couple of days, and then I'll share more about it. But I just wanted to at least let you know, this is, he lives in Bali, so it's very unusual that he's coming to California. And yeah, and we would love to have you there if it calls to you. We're hoping for just a small, intimate group and a healing space. So yeah, I'll say more about that soon. Great. Okay. So Sirius. Let me show you. There are a couple things I want to talk about before I channel. And so first of all, let me show you on an astrology chart where Sirius pops up. But then I'm going to also show you where in the actual on Stellarium where it falls. So you can see the contrast. I'm going to show you that, and also just in relation to a few other stars too, in case this happens to be new to you. There's just a few basic things that I feel like are important when we're, at least for me, in my relationship with the stars. So, okay. So here are the transits right now. And there are a lot of things on this chart. But over here at 14 degrees of Cancer is Sirius. And pretty near, so an astrology chart assumes that everything is on the ecliptic, which is not true. It's really important to remember that this is not reality, right? Like, our cosmos isn't a flat circle. It's not. And so on a chart, it looks like Sirius and Castor and Pollux are all right next to each other. In the sky, they're not. But if we're going to pretend that everything is on the ecliptic, then, pretty close to each other are Polaris, Sirius, well, not really. Anyway, Sirius, Castor, and Pollux. And in general, something that's just true is that Sirius is conjunct the sun, so with the sun, around July 4th or 5th at this time in time, this point in time. So actually something really interesting about, I'll say more about, these kind of details in a minute, but something really interesting about Sirius is that it was conjunct the sun when the Declaration of Independence of the United States was written or was signed, or, the date, the July 4th, 1776, Sirius was conjunct the sun that day. And so that's just something really interesting to feel into, that there's an energetic, vibrational something, some kind of quality in the chart of the United States that is definitely influenced in whatever way by the energetic of Sirius. So I don't have any personal conclusions about what that means. I've heard other people's explanations of how they interpret that. I don't feel quite right interpreting it exactly. It's just more, I'm just taking notice of it, and maybe certain things will come through you or through me or through all of us. I don't know. Yeah, just noticing that. Yeah, but regardless of that fact, every year in our lifetimes, certainly around the beginning of July, and then also around the beginning of January, are really, really especially powerful times to be connecting with Sirius, because in July the sun is conjunct Sirius, and then in January the sun is opposite Sirius. So those are particularly strong times to connect with it, but it's always there. It's the brightest star in the sky, and it is a very, very close star to us. And it's actually even thought of as potentially maybe being a binary relationship with our sun. So Sirius itself actually is a binary star. There's a Sirius A and a Sirius B, but it's also thought that combination is perhaps in a dance with our sun. So that's a whole topic, but just throwing that out there as well. And so I'll just also say, if you happen to be watching this video around now, so June, July-ish, something that's really, really cool, and I saw it even last night myself, is that at this time of year, I'm just going to point this out in case it happens to call to you, Arcturus and Spica are pretty high in the sky as the sun is setting. So I'm actually recording this right now at 8:45 p.m. And it's because, it's getting close to summer solstice, so it's actually still pretty light out there. But if in about another 45 minutes, it'll be dark. And you can see this is the moment of now in my sky right this second. Let me actually refresh it there. So you can see Arcturus and Spica are both rising, and they're right now very close to the moon. So the moon is going to be getting the moon will probably be exactly with Arcturus and Spica tomorrow. But something I want to just point out, this is emphasizing the point I was making a minute ago about these things are not on the ecliptic, and even though they look like they're together on a chart, on an astrology chart, they're not. So for example, I was outside last night and I was looking up and I saw Spica and I saw Arcturus, and on a chart, they are both at 24 degrees of Libra. In the sky, they are not close to each. I mean, they're close-ish to each other, but they are really not. They're not in the same place. They're just not. But you can go out and see them really, really easily right now. And at any year, in this time of year, June, July-ish is a really, really great time in the evening to see them. So if you feel called, go and be with them. They're really beautiful and really powerful. And that's a whole other topic. But for me, they really are a representation in many ways of the divine feminine, Spica, and the divine masculine, Arcturus, among many other things. But just putting that out there as a note, again, if it calls to you. And yeah, so then in contrast now, let me show you where on Stellarium, where this shows up. So you can see what I'm talking about, that even though things look like they're conjunct other things on an astrology chart, in the real sky, they're not. I mean, they are, but they're not. So let me pull that up for you. Okay. All right, here we go. Okay. So here is the sun right now. So again, I'm recording this on June 14th. And you can see that at this time of year, this red line is the ecliptic. So this is the line that the sun travels on through our sky from our perspective on Earth. And you can see that the sun has just traveled past the Pleiades, through the bull, and past Aldebaran. Here's the eye of the bull, Aldebaran. And now it's exiting. It's on its way out of the constellation of Taurus, the bull, and it's about to enter the constellation of Gemini, or the twins. And then all the way down here, way off the ecliptic, is Sirius. So, and here's Castor and Pollux up here. So again, on the astrology chart, on the two-dimensional chart, Sirius is considered at 14 degrees of Cancer, and Castor and Pollux are, at, what is it, 22, let's see, 20, Castor is at 20 of Cancer, and Pollux is at 23 of Cancer. Okay, but you can see that that Castor and Pollux are above the ecliptic, and Sirius is way below, way off the ecliptic here. They're not going to be, in the sky together. That's not how it's gonna look. Or feel, even though on your birth chart they might look like they're somewhat conjunct. I mean, so they're in the same part of the sky, but not really. I think you get my point. Okay. And another really cool thing, and I feel called to say about Sirius in terms of its position in the sky, is something that people talk a lot about, is that you can find Sirius. I mean, number one, it's the brightest star in the sky, so that makes it easier to see when it's visible. This time of year, it's not probably visible, and it's going to be less and less and less visible if you happen to be able to see it right this second, but I don't think we can. But when we can see Sirius, one way you can find it is by finding the belt of Orion, and then you follow the belt of Orion to Sirius. And the other thing that's so cool is that the belt of Orion with Sirius basically makes a line to Aldebaran and the Pleiades. So I already channeled about the Pleiades in another video. I'll link that here. And I channeled about Aldebaran in a recent video also, and I'll link both of those here if you feel called to drop into your own relationship with those two stars. I'm going to be doing, a series of these just anytime I get called to channel regarding stars. I'm going to create basically a series of these videos. But as I've said in these other videos, I don't know why, but I absolutely love Orion. And I particularly personally am so drawn to the Orion Nebula right here under the belt. It's something way beyond my comprehension at this moment consciously. And anyway, but Sirius is in a line with Orion's belt, Aldebaran, the eye of the bull, and then Pleiades, which is the shoulder of the bull. And so there's something about this whole set of beings that feels so powerfully in relationship with each other. So I'm just naming that. Again, I don't have conclusions about it. I don't have interpretations of it. I'm just feeling into it, and I'm naming it in case something comes alive for you. And, there's so much more here, of course, too. So, okay. Beautiful. All right. And then, yeah. So let me just see if there's anything else I feel called to say about Sirius before I channel. I mean, there's, again, infinite associations with everything. Something that does call to me about how some people think of Sirius as Sirius being related to physical healing. So in the Starlight Elixirs book by Michael Smolkis and Fred Rubenfeld, they say that Sirius is reminding us that transformation of the physical body, including the DNA, has never been more important. And Sirius is here to help shift our physical vibration so healing can truly occur. And yeah, there's something very beautiful in that to me. So for whatever that's worth, I'm not naming that as a truth. It's just very alive for me, and I'm kind of guessing that might be part of what's wanting to come through in the channeling or related to that. So I'm naming it. And I think maybe that's it. There's, again, infinite things out there. You can go, and there's a video that Julia Balaz has done on Sirius, and so there's a more of a galactic astrology perspective on it that may or may not resonate for you, and her perspective is really beautiful. So I can link that video here. I don't feel called to to engage with it in quite that way, but I absolutely love Julia, of course, and you know, I honor her perspective on it. And so if it calls to you, please explore and come back to us with what comes alive for you. Yeah, probably so much more I could say, but let me drop into the channeling and see what wants to come alive. All right. So yeah, so this, this video is meant to be like a template or like a conversation starter. Maybe that's a good way to put it. Um, and it will be something that we can refer to, that I can refer to anytime that Sirius is really alive in the astrology moving forward, including the new moon that's coming up this early July, 2024. But it's relevant always. So yeah. So welcome to this in whatever moment of time and space you happen to be in as you're watching this video. All right. Okay. Hello and welcome. So we are grateful that you are here listening and tapping in and being present with us, because we, like all of the energetics, the vibrations, the beings of every star system, are, of course, part of a great celestial family, which includes you and includes you on infinite levels. And in this time of great remembering, this time of coming back to the wholeness and the oneness of the all that is, as Martha was mentioning, it is crucial that we come back into the gathering of the Council of Infinity. So that means all of us coming back into the wholeness and the oneness and the continual direct communication that is natural to the state of being of wholeness, where we connect as light and light and light and light and light and beings of stars and star systems and planets, and truly beings of light embodied in infinite ways, and benevolent beings, all coming back into the oneness that we are, so that we can jointly, powerfully, and gently hold the space for this deep, powerful remembering. Okay, so in this video, of course, the beings that are us as beings associated with the star system of Sirius have infinite sides, infinite facets, just like a jewel, just like you, just like anything. But part of what we would love to convey and hold space for is a remembering of what it is to be the exact we're looking for the exact right words to convey the subtlety of this in human language, in English. One way to put it, it's a little bit the language is a little bit limiting, so we're hoping that we are conveying this through the vibration and the energetic of our presence, and the words will serve as a kind of carrier of that energy and that energetic. So please, in whatever way feels right for you, feel the energetic and the vibration of what we're saying, maybe even more than the words we use. But one way to convey this in words somewhat is we're here as a reminder of what it is to be embodied on the ultimate divine level, on the pure energetic of what DNA is for you in this moment. And the word DNA even actually is a little bit too contracting, so that's not quite the right word. But let us pause for a minute to just find a word that might match the vibration more precisely. So there is a way in which the information of the being that is you, that informs the manifestation of you as a being of light in form, embodied as something manifested as source in a unique way. There's information that is strands of light that weave together, that work together, that dance together. And actually, previously, you have called this DNA, but a higher version, a higher expression, a higher vibration is something that maybe there is not a human word for yet. But essentially what it is that DNA, as you know it or you think of it, you conceive of it right now, is this double helix of, in a sense, light coming together into a dance of masculine and feminine, of polarities working and dancing together in harmony and informing each other and communicating together. And that's beautiful and wonderful. And then there's another way in which, so you talk about, in the human world, you talk about coming into the full DNA that is true to you, and letting go of the notion of junk DNA, which begins to get at the truth we're naming here. But the actual highest vibrational truth of it is actually beyond even that way of conceiving of it, or that way of placing it into words. So again, we're hoping that this can be conveyed through the energetic of what we are holding space for you to come into a remembering of. So there may not quite yet be human words precisely for this, but essentially what this is that your energy body, your energy being is constantly in motion. Everything in time and space is in constant motion. It's in constant evolution. It never is not. And the same goes for the ways in which these strands of light, which you previously have called DNA, these strands of light dance and move and inform each other. So as you move through time and space, and as you come back powerfully more and more into this time of great remembering, part of this time of great remembering is also to be coming into for lack of any better words right now, an elevated way of being in relationship to these strands of light that inform you, that inform the manifestation of you as source, as a being of light and earth and cosmos as one. So in the sky, in your sky, from your vantage point on earth, as Martha was saying, at this point, Sirius is not on the ecliptic. But at a certain point, 100,000 years ago, it was. And from your vantage point, part of the energetic of the star Sirius is that you maybe think of it as being in the seasonal sign of Cancer at 14 degrees of Cancer. And given that on the ultimate level, there is no time and there is no space, this energetic vibration of Sirius being in the seasonal sign of Cancer is an important sort of, if you want to think of it like a drop of paint in the lake of or the ocean of reality. So there's many infinite aspects to what any vibrational existence is, but this idea that Sirius is in the sign of Cancer at 14 degrees of Cancer it's like putting a drop of color into the ocean of reality, of truth. And something we would like to also convey about that is that the polarity, if you're thinking of the stars as being on the ecliptic, the polarity on a chart is Capricorn. And is Vega, which is a whole other topic, which maybe Martha can hold space for in another time. But just in terms of the polarity of Cancer and Capricorn, there's an energetic here. There's a drop of color and reality that something we would like to hold space for is that in that Capricorn energy, there's been a certain form and a certain conditioning that you are perhaps used to, or you've been used to in the many eons of existences, and a certain form of the physical manifestation of you, even in what you conceive of as those strands of light creating DNA in the way that you think of it now, or you've been thinking of it. And a beautiful aspect of the Capricorn Cancer dance, that polarity, is that they can be in constant communication and relationship of creating form and letting go of form, and creating form and letting go of form, and creating ancestry and family that changes and grows with the exact precise needs of each and every moment of the womb of existence, of the moment of time and space you happen to be in. So on a cosmic level, for example, your sun and your solar system are certainly in a dance with each other. And then they are in a constant motion through your galaxy, through the galaxy around the galactic center. And then your entire galaxy is in constant motion with other galaxies. So this motion never stops. It's constant. And the same is true for this balance and this harmony of the Capricorn Cancer polarity, and of course all of the other energies and all of the other polarities of the zodiac and everything in existence. But just to focus specifically on that Capricorn Cancer balance, there can be a tendency when a certain form is created to feel that that is the one and only truth, the only one and only way of form taking shape. But of course, the reality is that time and space are in constant motion. And the ultimate truth is that the pure, vulnerable, beautiful needs of each and every moment are what they are. And so the form in a healthy system is changing along with those needs. Along with the needs of a baby, for example, in a womb, the way in which the womb, or when the baby is born, even if you think of breast milk starting as colostrum and being very concentrated for the needs of the newborn, and then the milk lets down, and then the milk becomes in concert with the needs of the baby, changing constantly over time. So Cancer energy is very associated with the breasts, for example, the mother, the womb, and then the breasts of the mother for the baby. So it's actually a great analogy that the form is going to be changing constantly as that baby changes and grows and is in the womb, and then is born, and then has the needs of a brand new newborn, and then has the needs of a baby as it grows, and then as a toddler, and then so forth. So similarly, in this moment in time, you can think of it like the form of even the energy system, the relationship of light to light as it communicates in the manifestation of you is in a dance that's in constant motion. And so it's really important to know that, and to be able to, in a sense, surrender continually to whatever ways that form needs to change, just like the milk of the mother is changing constantly to meet the needs of the baby. It's the same idea. So we invite you to just feel this, to take a deep breath and to feel yourself held. You are in the womb of the time-space continuum. We all are. We're doing this dance in time and in space, in infinite dimensions, together, all as the one, and all as manifestations of Source itself. So this is just one of infinite messages or rememberings we feel called to hold space for a remembering of by you, again, in whatever way is just right for you. And we invite you to be with and to share any insights or changes or anything that sparks alive in the being that is you. Because we are you. All of us, of all star systems, really are just part of the one. And there's so much more. We'll stop here for now. And we look forward to being with you in the council of infinity. We are there. We are part of it. All of the beings of all benevolent beings of all star systems will be present and are present continually. So thank you so much for being here and being part of it as well. And we can connect with you anytime you feel called to connect with us. Because again, we are you and you are us. And we are all the all that is. And so it is. Amen. Right. Great. Yeah, would love to hear any reflections, anything that comes alive for you, whatever you feel called to share. If there are other aspects of Sirius energy or experiences you've had with Sirius light or with Sirius the star, please share. Love to hear it. And it would be great to have other people be able to hear your experiences too. So I really invite that. Yeah, and I'll make another video probably next week specifically regarding the new moon that will be conjunct Sirius in July. So yeah. And again, I'm holding a free live and recorded gathering on June 21st, 2024. Even if you're hearing this after that, it's going to be available indefinitely. The recording will be available indefinitely, and it is called Gathering of the Council of Infinity. And just like these beings we're talking about in this channeling, it's really, really, the spirit world is saying it's an imperative that we come together, that we come back into a remembering of the reality that we are all in this together, and that we have a natural way of being in constant relationship with benevolent beings of everything, of everywhere, every dimension, every part of time, every part of space. That's that's our natural way of being, and they're really wanting that to wake back up in the world now through us, through beings who are grounded and capable of being present as that. Yeah. Yeah. More to come. I mean, there's more I could say, but so please sign up for that if you haven't already. Yeah. And Melanie Reinhardt, July 17th, introducing the centaurs. And also, if you're interested, I am holding these small soul wisdom, soul song, right? Wow, my brain. Soul song sacred sharing circles. So these are small, intimate circles, maximum of 6 people per circle, that I am holding in various times of each month. I'm holding them once a month, each circle once a month. And if that calls to you, it's a time, it's a place for you to come and share about your own soul journey, your own waking up to who you are. And, it's perfect for people who are in a time where there's kind of more there, and there's a more there that you're aware of, but you don't have a place to speak about it, maybe, or you don't have people, you feel like, am I going crazy? Maybe you feel a call to channel things, or maybe, I don't know, you have a strong relationship with the spirit world and you don't have much of anywhere to share that, or you're in a transition in your life, like leaving a career or leaving a marriage, and it feels like you're on the brink of a whole new world opening up to you, and you want a place to be able to share about that, where you're really coming into your soul self in a whole new powerful way. That's what these circles are about. They're not meant to be psychotherapy, so it's not appropriate if you're in a major, crisis, like having really extreme mental health needs. Then please work with a therapist. This is not meant to be therapy, even though I do have a therapy background, but this is not group therapy. It's a sharing about the stage of life and coming into our soul selves and supporting each other in that. But I would love to have you there if you feel called. There are a couple of openings in each of the circles I have right now. And then, yeah, if you're interested in doing a live in-person gathering with me and Chris Skidmore in August, please be in touch. I will, again, share more information about that really soon. So it's going to be in Santa Barbara, California, where I live. And yes, if you don't know anything about Santa Barbara, California, it's beyond paradise. It's beautiful here, and I would love to see some of you in person. Again, that also will be intimate and small, probably, ideally like 6 to 8 people. But so yeah, if that calls to you, please let me know. Love to get to actually see humans face to face. It would be really amazing to be able to meet you that way. And if you happen to be even near here, that's better, because then that'll be really easy for you to get here. Okay. More to come soon. I hope to see many of you next Friday at the solstice gathering. Again, the link is right here. And in the next few weeks, also, I do have a bit more time than usual available for one-on-one sessions, because my schedule has opened up, because my kids' schedule is opened up. So I have some times on my schedule that I don't normally have available. So if you're wanting a one-on-one session, this summer is a good time for that. Yeah. All right. Wonderful. Thank you so much. See you soon.